This is going to be ugly, for a motivated Khalil Mack that's already, frankly, been everything the Bears thought he was going to be and more. And there are certain trades that you can look at, and no matter how far away you get from them, they'll never make sense. In 2 generations, they'll still be questioning why, no matter how much the justification has come through since, why you would ever let Khalil Mack out of your building.
Listen, it's going to be the age-old question, but from the Oakland side, when you have multiple holes to fill, you don't want to fill one that's going to eat up so much of your cap. So, there are some that will understand it from the Oakland side to say, we need more here. We need quantity. We need quality, certainly, but we need quantity as well. The other side is saying, at this point, you've just basically given up on a guy that's going into the Hall of Fame and is one of the great – we talk about players, but I put it disruptors. I mean, the worst thing that can happen to an offense, you would know this, Mike, as an O-line, is when all the play is on the other side of the line of scrimmage. I mean, obviously the offense wants to go forward and the defense wants to stop you. But their defense, and especially Khalil Mack, they play so well on the other side of the line and disrupt anything you're trying to do. It is incredible to watch.
Yeah, he's different. Like, there are certain guys that even when you talk about the realm of great players, and you're right, Jason, for all the things that Oakland had to do in filling those gaps and what they got in return, quite frankly, a lot of the first-round picks that they've used, and early on, the returns seemed pretty good for those guys, the moves they were able to make in the offseason. Because remember, part of it was also you were going to have to pay Khalil Mack untold amounts of money in this, and that's why you ended up trading him. So you've got the room to sign guys like Trent Brown, who are now going to have to go out and block him this weekend.
Right. Well, and to that end, the Raiders went from being the oldest roster in the NFL to the 4th youngest roster in 1 year. They have 13 rookies playing on their squad this year. And, you see that, and that's why this matchup is just terrible for Oakland also. I mean, it's not accidental, and it's hard as a Raiders fan to say this, but they have some issues at wide receiver, and they have no pass rush. I mean, they're working on it, but it's just these are problems, and they're taking on a defense for the Bears that I said on Monday is this Bears team is starting to feel reminiscent of recency, let's say this, reminiscent of that Ravens team that was able to win with Trent Dilfer. I don't really care who the quarterback is in Chicago. I'm not sure how you score on this Bears team, especially the way this defense is playing. So this is a difficult matchup for any team to try and figure out how to generate points.
I agree, because there are great defenses, and then there are the great defenses that are attacking, that are, as I said, disrupting. And when I watched them, even like I said a couple of weeks ago, I really felt like I was watching that old Eagles defense that I was lucky enough to be part of, but watching, some of the guys on that defense and just how aggressive they were and how aggressive they are still now. And remember, it's with a different coordinator, which can change things. It's Chuck Pagano, as Vic Fangio went on to be the head coach at Denver. So, but still what they're doing, the little things, Mike, just the little things, like when you're running a game up front, because you just don't look at the tackles and Trent Brown and Colton Miller and say, you guys have to deal with Leonard and with Mack. They run a lot of games. They run a lot of those TE games where the tackle's up the field and the end comes around. But they do it so well because as an old lineman, I know you want to muck up that transition that we're doing from tackle to end with the tackle going on field. They do it so well with that tackle going on field. All of a sudden, that guard is on an island against Khalil Mack when he comes underneath. They run that thing so well.
They do everything well. I mean, they do everything at an elite level. And all we talked about from last year was, well, there's no way this Bears defense can sustain play. Doing it for defense year to year is a hard thing to sustain. The Bears went out against the Minnesota Vikings last week. They did not have, on offense, Kyle Long or Taylor Gabriel. Right. And on defense, they didn't have Roquan Smith and Akeem Hicks, who are two of the better players on an otherworldly defense. Too. And they still did things to the Vikings that now have them offensively turning on one another. Adam Thielen coming out, being critical of the play calling. Apparently, Kirk Cousins said he apologized to Adam Thielen for not getting him the ball more in this process. Like, a defense that was down arguably its best interior player and its best middle linebacker still went out there and decimated the population of Minnesota.
Well, and Dalvin Cook. I mean, Dalvin Cook's supposed to be the star running. You're supposed to be able to generate yards no matter what from Dalvin Cook, and they couldn't do anything against this Vikings defense.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content plus live streaming, make sure to subscribe to ESPN Player.